Hey, thank you so much, Jack. Welcome, everybody. As you heard, my name is Anthony Sequeira here with CBT Nuggets. I am one of the full time trainers at CBT Nuggets, and I am so fortunate to be one of the Windows 10 trainers here, specifically in that MCSA certification track from Microsoft. Let's take a moment right off the bat here in this webinar to review what this exciting new certification is all about. Specifically, a question that I've already gotten via my blog, and by the way, I'll be giving you the address to my blog at the end of this session. A question that I get is, hey, look, I've already got the MCSA Windows 8. So is there kind of an upgrade path for me? I did all that hard work required for the MCSA on the Windows 8 track. Is there some kind of a fast track? And the answer is yes, there is. Notice there is a single exam 70-697 called Configuring Windows Devices that you can take if you're interested in this upgrade path. Now, something that's really super interesting about this is that the 70697 exam is as much interested in OneDrive and Intune and Azure and Office 365 as it is Windows 10. It feels light on Windows 10 and it feels so much heavier on these additional technologies. So students have been starving for the course that I'm going to be telling you about in a moment because it is 98% Windows 10 centric and only mentions these other products in slight manners. So what if you don't have that MCSA for Windows 8? Or what if you have an MCSA for some previous version of Windows? Well, no problem. You're going to take the full track. You're going to take the full path to your MCSA Windows 10. Notice it begins with the course that we are excited to announce today, and that is 70-698. That's actually the official exam number you'll be registering for. And the course that we're announcing today is Installing and Configuring Windows 10. So you would start your journey here. The nuggets will start appearing on our website this week. And then once you're done, you would tackle the course that we just mentioned, 70-697, Configuring Windows Devices. Notice I put this big Windows 10 logo down here because, of course, the Windows 10 is the focus of the Installing and Configuring Windows 10 exam and course. Isn't that a surprise? Good. We want some real Windows-centric Windows 10 training, and that's what we get. Now, not only are we announcing the Installing and Configuring Windows 10 course today, but we've got a couple of super exciting announcements for you regarding all of this. The first announcement that I need to make is that you probably know that this exam, let me grab my pen, this exam right here, this one has been out in its gold form for quite some time now, a couple months. But this exam right here, we've all been waiting for this, and it was in beta for about 8 weeks. And I've got some really exciting news for you. 70-698 is live. That's right. Today, it is live. It is out of beta. This means we can go take the gold version of the exam. We can receive our results right away. One of the issues, as you know, with Microsoft beta exams is you take it and then you wait and you wait and you wait and you wait for results. So a lot of people like to just wait for the exam to go gold before they take it. And we are at that status right now with 70-698. Now, in addition to that incredibly exciting news today in this webinar, I have something else to tell you. There are 2 new approaches that we're going to be telling you about on these Windows courses that I think you are going to absolutely love. The first new Nugget approach that we're going to be revealing for you is our micro topic focus. This is funny because we used to do these things on YouTube that everybody loved. They were called micro nuggets. Remember those? They would be, I'd say 5 to 10 or 13-minute little micro nuggets. Well, that micro nugget approach is now our approach to these classes. So This allows us to be incredibly exam-centric. We know there's all of these objectives that Microsoft gives us for these exams, and we can line up each nugget with that specific objective. Remember the one of two exams I told you has been out for a long time now? It's that configuring devices for Windows exam 70-697. Well, as you can see here from our website, that is 99 nuggets. That's right, 99 nuggets of pure certification goodness. Notice the course introduction is the first nugget, and then it quickly moves to Office 365, various topics regarding Office 365 when it comes to that particular certification exam. Breaking it down exam objective by exam objective. Worth me pointing out, this exam, 70-697, Configuring Windows Devices, let me just restate, this exam has been out for months, and so has our CBT Nuggets course. So it is up there waiting for you right now on the site. What begins this week is our new course, and that's the one that's totally Windows 10 centric, installing and configuring Windows 10 70-698. I will begin, of course, with a course introduction, but then I'll quickly move to a nugget that introduces you to your first overall section of nuggets. The first overall section of nuggets that you're going to experience in this course is the Implement Windows section. So sure enough, we're going to look at things like hardware requirements. We'll take a look at the Windows 10 editions. And for those of you that were frustrated with Microsoft in the past, remember Windows 7, where they had about 800 editions, it seemed like? Windows 7 Pro, Windows 7 Sorta Pro, Windows 7 Home, Windows 7 Mobile Home, Windows 7 Expert Edition, Windows 7 Corporate Resale. Oh my goodness, it was a nightmare. You're going to love how they've cleaned up the editions inside of Windows 10. We'll take a look at performing various installations. We'll take a look at supporting additional languages. We'll obviously be troubleshooting things like device drivers. We'll take a look at the new Cortana and how to configure that Siri-like assistant and maybe even turn it off if it's freaking you out. We'll take a look at the new browser, Edge. We'll take a look at Hyper-V capabilities, the new Windows Imaging and Configuration Designer tool. And then we'll also look at things that would be very, very relevant for enterprise deployments of Windows 10, like Active Directory-based activation and volume activation in key management services. You see, one of the things that's really taken a complete overhaul in Windows 10 is the licensing. This is one area where things are very, very different, so our course will be focusing on that intensely. Then we'll start another section of nuggets. Notice there's 25 nuggets in our first grouping for your examination. And then we start the second grouping. It's the Configure and Support Core Services section. So as you might guess, we need to configure IPv4 and IPv6, name resolution. We need to connect to networks. I'll teach you how to set up the new network locations feature, and we'll do Windows Firewall, both Windows Firewall and the advanced Windows Firewall. We'll then move into topics like network discovery, Wi-Fi, VPNs, disk management, virtual hard disks, removable devices, the new improvements with storage spaces, and a nice wrap up on storage with a look at troubleshooting storage infrastructures. File and print sharing. Yes, we'll discuss OneDrive, and later on we'll discuss troubleshooting OneDrive. We'll look at Windows features we can add, the Windows Store, packages, the Windows Assessment and Deployment Kit. Then we'll look at management tools like the Microsoft Management Console and PowerShell and Remote Desktop. And then we move to the third section of your exam. Can you believe all this incredible content? The third and final section is going to be on managing and maintaining Windows. So we'll look at Windows Update, Insider Preview. We'll look at the current branch for business, and long-term servicing branch areas. We'll look at things like update history and rolling back updates, task manager, resource manager, monitoring system resources, Windows Defender. That's gotten really, really good since it was initially deployed, and we'll see how to tune it and make it even better. We'll look at troubleshooting performance. We'll look at things like device manager and system restores and file history and VB admin and Windows recovery and domain settings and home groups and different accounts and the new Windows Hello features. And we wrap up with things like automation thanks to Windows PowerShell. Yes, 107 nuggets in 3 groupings, mapping directly to your exam objectives. Now, I know what you might be thinking. My goodness, 107 nuggets. This is going to be done probably around 2020. No, the great news is nuggets will start appearing as early as, I would say 48 hours from the time of this live webinar. So nuggets will start appearing on the site for you to start enjoying, and very much so, the nuggets will be going in order. There might be some exceptions to that, but they'll be, very, very close to a sequential order. It's not like I would start working on nuggets 107 and 106 and post those. That wouldn't make sense. But they'll be very topic-based, as you know, so the order isn't necessarily that important anyways, and you can start enjoying these nuggets right away. It's going to take me 7 weeks in order to complete all of these 107 nuggets. Now, this is what I'm most excited about. Are you ready? What I'm most excited about is the second big new Nugget approach that we are announcing today for you for this course on installing and configuring Windows 10. This is the most exciting thing that's happened since I've been a part of CBT Nuggets. And I'm entering my 4th year here at CBT Nuggets, so this is super, super exciting. What we're going to be offering is Nugget-based hands-on labs. That's right. You heard me. Nugget-based hands-on labs. You ready for this? I really wanted to demonstrate for you how this works instead of just tell you about it, because you might be thinking, all right, Nugget-based hands-on labs means that Anthony's going to have me build my own little lab infrastructure, and then he's going to tell me to follow along with him as he has in the past. And that's certainly something I've done in many of my classes. For instance, I just got done with Juniper training here at CBT Nuggets, and that's exactly what I did. I told the learner how to go and build a little lab, very low cost. It was something like, $500 or $600 US, and then follow along with me. Oh, no, that's not what's happening here. We are providing the labs for you via your browser interface. I want to show you how this works by using a course that already takes advantage of it. In fact, I'm sure you're going to be running to take this course right after I show it to you. It's a really, really awesome course that was just completed. So here is what it looks like. We just completed a course called What's New in Server 2016. Now, when you're on the course page and you select a nugget right here, so you can see that I am currently viewing the second nugget. It's bolded. It's called Nano Server. What happens is over on the right-hand side, notice there's this virtual lab link, and it says Nano Server Lab. So this nugget has a specific virtual lab tied to it. What you do is you launch that lab when the instructor tells you to launch that lab, and now you are following along step by step for the configurations in the virtual environment right along with the instructor. How cool is this? Now, if you're on a mobile platform, like you're watching the Nugget on your iPhone or your Galaxy phone or your Windows phone, well, you would not really be following along. That's a time where you wouldn't do the virtual lab. It would make no sense to attempt to do that on your phone. I think it does work, but it's really super tiny and it's not a fun experience. So there you would just be watching as you normally would. But when you're in your desktop environment, and especially if you have multiple monitors, or maybe you want to do a tablet for the instructor and your desktop screen for the lab, this works out absolutely beautiful for following along. Let me go ahead and show you what this looks like, by the way. So the person is watching this nano server Nugget, and then the instructor tells them to click on the virtual lab that goes with this Nugget. And so they click on that, and then this happens in a separate browser tab. The lab environment starts being built. It's absolutely amazing. These are Windows Server 2016 labs with this particular course. And these labs launch in about 30 seconds. There's one that takes about 1 minute, 30 seconds to launch, but that's because it involves 3 separate Windows Server 2016 virtual machines. The ones that involve only a single VM launch in about 30 seconds. It's so cool. Once that launches, it pops right up just like this inside the web browser. You notice we are at the login screen for a Server 2016 box, and you don't even have to type in the credentials. Up here in the top right, there is an area where you can just click to have the password automatically dropped in that field and log you into the server. And now you are following along step by step with your instructor on these labs. These are obviously Server 2016 based that I'm showing off right now, but we are going to have the equivalent technology for the installing and configuring Windows 10 course. So you're going to be able to follow along with me as we make these great configurations on these various devices. Well, it's that point in the webinar where I want to make sure I answer any questions. So just use the chat console to type those in, and I will take them live here for us. And by the way, the great question is on updating these courses for the anniversary update. And that is absolutely something that we are going to be doing. So I will be showing off the anniversary update features as we move throughout the nuggets. So a great example would be, Windows Inc. When I'm covering the Windows desktop in my Windows Desktop Nugget, I will indeed cover anniversary features. Please keep in mind your exam will not cover anniversary features, so that'll be kind of considered bonus content. By the way, as I do this question and answer period of the webinar, I'm going to bring up my contact information. So I'm just going to leave this on screen. So as we're doing this Q&A, you can copy down this information. The best way to get me, my most responsive method I listed first, it's my blog. Go up to the blog, go to any post you want, and comment. There's also a Contact Anthony link at the top. My second most responsive area is Twitter. I'm a Twitter addict. Then Facebook, then LinkedIn, then Google+, and our CBT Nugget communities. So there's the ways in which you can contact me. So great question from one of our students. He says, individual videos as they're created are available to be viewed from a computer, iOS, or Android device, right? Exactly. Don't forget that. It'll take me 7 weeks to create this course. And you may go, oh, gosh, 7 weeks. No. Nuggets appear each day. And as those nuggets are created, you will be able to enjoy them. And I'm going to give you those 107 nuggets listed there. I've already given you in this webinar the 107 topics, but I'll be publishing that on my blog as well. So you can literally just track your progress of mastering each nugget as it is created. So no need to wait. Start enjoying this content now. Question from Joseph. Joseph says, will all of the latest Microsoft certifications be featuring this new format with labs? I've got great news for you. Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, you heard it here first. We are redoing the current install and configuration of Server 2012 in this new format. That's right, we are redoing the 410, the famous 410 exam, to feature hands-on labs. I imagine we'll be redoing lots of courses as a result of this new hands-on lab format. How often do we have to renew Microsoft certifications? That's an awesome, awesome question. We renew Microsoft certifications really based around the product releases. So that's what typically you would do. At least that's how I have always done it. There is an expiration date, and I will research that actually and post it on my blog now, because as we know, Windows 10, Microsoft is saying, is the last official version of the desktop of Windows. So it's going to be interesting to see how they handle like expiration and stuff. Great question. I'll research that and post more information. Now, here's a great question from Todd, and thank you for all of these wonderful questions. If I'm currently working on the 70-697 exam, should I finish that exam prep first and then focus on 70-698? Or should I, redo that? Todd, awesome, awesome question. Stay with your current path. Do not derail what you are working on right now. No, absolutely. Learn all that great OneNote stuff. OneNote, that's hilarious. OneDrive, learn all that great Office 365 stuff. Learn all that great Azure stuff. Learn all that great content in the Configuring Windows Devices course. No problem. Get that exam cleared and then come on over as quick as you can and join me in the Installing and Configuring Windows 10 course. You'll have a head start in some areas since obviously there are some overlap between the two exams. So great, great questions. James asks, do the labs reset when they're closed so that when I complete a lab, if I want to repeat it, I can? James, I've got incredible information for you, my friend. Here's how the labs work. You can do the lab as many times as you want. Now, here's something really cool that we're working on. I think we'll have it in this Windows 10 course. I'm pretty sure. We're working on saving state. So we're working on where it will allow you to, if you run into a time constraint, save your state and then come back and complete the lab later. But the good news is I'm 100% sure you can take the labs as many times as you like. So right now, today, if you were to get called away, you could just go ahead and close your lab. And please always do that. That's the proper thing to do, right? Don't just leave the lab open because that hurts utilization and could harm other students. So you just go ahead and gracefully close the lab, and then you could come back and you could redo that lab at a later time. So yeah, very much like snapshotting VMs, James says. And James, you're going to love all the new virtual machine content that we have in all of these courses because, as you know, Hyper-V is more popular than ever. And so we'll be doing a lot with Hyper-V. All right. So let's see. I want to make sure we got all of the questions covered that we have had chatted in. We have got a great question on the license subscription for corporations. There's no premium for the labs. So yeah, there is no premium subscription or anything like that for these labs. As you know, here at CBT Nuggets, we are dramatically moving towards a single user, single experience type world. We don't want to penalize anyone. We want every single student to take advantage and be blessed with all of the great resources that we have, like coaching, like mentoring, like virtual labs, the offline viewing capability of Nuggets. Don't forget, you can download Nuggets to take on like an airplane that doesn't have Wi-Fi with you. So we want everyone to be able to take advantage of all of these great features with no penalty. Well, I cannot thank you enough for your attendance and participation in this webinar where we have looked at the Windows 10 world of certification, specifically the MCSA for Windows 10. We know it consists of those two incredible exams, 698 and 697. And as we've seen today, we are taking two very exciting new approaches when it comes to teaching this content. The first is that very micro nugget exam, laser focused nugget approach to make sure exams are much easier to pass moving forward. And the second new approach that we're using is to make sure that we're giving you hands-on lab practice as you move throughout these technologies. Thanks once again for your attendance and participation in this webinar, and I cannot wait to see you in 70-698, installing and configuring Windows 10.